Hello, everyone. I assume we are now live and streaming on YouTube. This is the first time we've tried this, and so hopefully it's working fine. I'll assume that the others will be messaging me in Slack if we are not actually live or if something's not quite working. But this is awesome. So we're trying a new platform this time. We still can see your comments. So if you are watching this live on YouTube, we can still see what you're writing. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments section in YouTube. And of course, we'll be recording this through YouTube and through other platforms, so anyone can watch the replay at any point whenever you feel like you most want to. So thank you again for joining, and let's get stuck into this month's community call. This obviously is start of September, end of August. And there's a lot that we've done recently. I will start by going through, and as always, we cover the three main focus areas: the core product, the community growth, and the SubQuery network. Starting with the core product, this month's been a bit of work. We have obviously added support for Base Network, and this is Coinbase's flagship network that they've launched. It's an EVM-based network. And we made sure that we were there to provide support at launch on Base for both the mainnet and the Gorilla test network. This is a great milestone for us, and we've been doing a lot of work closely with the Coinbase team to make it work well for them. We've also added support for Scroll Network, another EVM-based chain. I actually met the Scroll team in person in East Barcelona earlier this year. And since then, we've been working close to get this working together. So if you're a developer building on either Base or Scroll, we now have that working for you, and it looks really good. Some words of warning for next month. We have a large number of chains that we're going to be adding support next month. We're actually going through a lot of them at the moment and adding support to as many chains as possible. Internally, we have a goal to support 100 different chains by the end of the year. That is our goal, and we are not far away from that. So next month, or this month, this September, expect to see constant announcements of new chains that we add support for, because it'll be very busy with our chain announcement. In terms of other things, Neutron as well, another chain. This is the Cosmos chain that we've added support for, and it's another minor one that we're working through. And then this brings us to this diagram. This diagram is going to get really outdated very soon. It's almost too busy already. At the moment, I believe there are about 70 different chains that we have start or example projects for that will only increase in the next few days. Another big feature we released very recently is a feature that really benefits Ethereum or Cosmos community. And in short, what this allows them to do is to generate code for a project. So when you start up a new project in SubQuery, the way you generally do it is that you will you'll know roughly what shape of the data that you want, and you'll know what events on chains or what transactions you want to index. This process here cuts out a lot of that middle work. And essentially, when you start a new project, you can say, you can import a certain contract API or some protobufs, and you can select what particular events or messages or transactions you want to index from. So it'll come up a list, or scan your API, it'll come up with a list of different events. You can select all, and it generates the facades of these handlers. So in the manifest file, it will generate the triggers, and in your mapping handlers, it will generate the code stubs with everything typed out nicely. So we've released this in conjunction with additional support for CodeGen for Cosmos, and basically it just makes the developer experience in Ethereum and in Cosmos a lot better. It's a really cool feature that helps speed up development and saves developers a lot of time when they're building a Cosmos or an Ethereum or EVM-based project. So that's all out there. There's some documentation on our website. I'll just put the link in the chat here, and I assume that goes out to YouTube. And you can see how that works yourself. We've also been working on, so that was the description. There's also a lot of other small features that we won't cover off as well. We kind of share that in a developer guide very soon. I believe we're writing a developer guide for this week, which gives developers a very short, kind of quick view into the new features and the new improvements to our SDK that they can then leverage. I'm going to invite Sean onto the side of the stage to talk about the community growth section. Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Hey, James, thank you so much. Great to see everyone again. The community section, yes, go for it, James. Next slide, please. Now, you may remember that a couple of months ago, there was conference season basically, and Marta was flying around the world in June, July. This is a quick update from August, which is the very last one, where Marta joined ETH Toronto and the Blockchain Futures Conference there. Marta managed to meet with a whole bunch of partners, customers, including users at Zoombi, Avalanche, Secret, etc. So good to connect on the other side of the world, US, North America based as well. So and now Marta's finally come back to New Zealand. So that was rounding off the conference season. Very fruitful indeed, meeting with a lot of people.
She's been on the road for a long time. We're very lucky to have Marta on the team, and I think she spent about 2 months on the road across Europe and North America for Toronto, and now she just got home. So it's a long time away from home, and we thank her for that. But she met many customers across the world. I know she met quite a lot of people in Toronto because we've never been to an event in Canada before. Apparently, there's a lot of governance conversations in Toronto. But the conference isn't over, actually. Although I assume we'll be talking about that as well, Sean.
Yeah, we've got a couple more events coming up, which James is actually going to the Singapore team, and then a few more in Europe as well, including Sub-Zero and I think Stellar as well.
Yeah, so the main ones are, there's next week is one of the largest events in Asia, Token 2049, which is in our backyard in Singapore. So if you're there or if you're at any of the side events, let me know. If you are in Singapore and you want to come to a event, I might be able to find some tickets for some side events. So send me a message and I might be able to get you invited to a few different side events. But Token 2049 is going to be huge. I know that every night there's about 300 official side events for Token 2049. I think it's one of the biggest events I've seen in the last couple of years in the space. But after that, we're heading to Lisbon. There is a Polkadot event called Sub-Zero. It's a developer-focused conference in Lisbon. And also the week after that, there is a big event for Stellar. I guess this is an open secret now. So SubQuery got a grant by the Stellar Development Foundation to add indexing support for Stellar's new smart contract network Suraban. We're still working on it at the moment, but we're trying to aim to get it ready before the Stellar event in 2 weeks' time. And we'll be showing it off on stage and working with new customers in the Stellar ecosystem. We're already talking to a few. You might have seen some people asking questions in Discord and the technical support channel. So it's a little bit of an open secret now, but Stellar is one of the new networks that we're working to add support now.
Awesome. Just a quick update on the developers task for the community. We've added a whole bunch more, 12 in fact, with rewards ranging from 50 to 100 to 800 and even 1500 KUSKTs. You can see they're totaling about 3,500. It's open to the whole community, so I'd love your contributions. Go in and pick a task that you think you can do, and then let us know as well. So first come, first serve basis as well.
I've just dropped the link to the Developer Guild in the chat as well.
Awesome. It's on GitHub there. The next couple of slides are just minor updates that we had
new customers that are onboarding.
August last year, yeah. Indeed. So, for example, BitTensor, their network focuses on the decentralized machine learning protocol, enabling the exchange of machine learning capabilities, for instance. And then with EclipseFi, these guys, they've got a token launch and liquidity bootstrapping layer for Say and Cosmos. And then the last one there, CSwap. These guys offer a cutting-edge layered DeFi platform, still on the SAY network as well. So a couple of interesting customer announcements there.
There are many other customers, and we find about new customers every second day that are using SubQuery. These are one of the main ones. But if you are using SubQuery and you haven't reached out to us, please do. We'd love to know when people are building a SubQuery. We'd like to provide more support. We like to help out. We'd like to hear your feedback. So if you are using SubQuery in a production project, please don't be afraid to reach out. You can contact us in Discord. Or just email us, because we'd prefer to know that you are, prefer to be able to provide you support, and we'll be able to hopefully do some co-marketing activities with you in terms of announcing to the community how you're using SubQuery, and show off your project a bit.
Indeed. And then the last slide in this section, I believe, is we've actually open sourced the network code base, actually.
Yeah, it's a bit of a duplicate. I didn't realize we'd already talked about the developer guild, but this is kind of covering that as well.
Yeah, that's just a screenshot of the actual the task and the Kanban board style there. But yep.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Sean, for joining. And let's move on to the SubQuery network. So this is a big one that we have been talking about for some time. It's been quite complicated, but every week we used to provide a marketing announcement of the current statistics of the network, the total stake, for example, the total amount of rewards. And finally, we have finished and released a dashboard. It looks really, really cool, that shows off this information. So if you log into or go to kepler.subquery.network, you can at a glance see some key information like the total network stake, the amount of rewards over time, the number of active projects on the network, how much delegation is occurring, the circulating supply of SubQuery and the percentage of that supply that is staked, what the current error is. There's also links to forums as well. So it's a great one-stop shop for all the information that you need to know about the SubQuery Kepler network. We're putting a lot of work behind the scenes in terms of UX improvements, and the next one as well is quite similar. We've improved the indexer dashboard. So if you click on an indexer and various lists, it takes you to this indexer page. We're actually improving this so you get there from any other places in the app. But it shows you at a glance all you need to know about the particular indexer. It's designed mostly for delegators. So if a delegator is sitting there trying to decide between two different indexes, they can use this page to better research, understand, and use that information to make a better decision about which indexer to support with their delegation. So it's got at a glance information about their rank, their uptime, the rewards that they've received over time, how their stake is changing over time, and how their delegation, of course, is changing and what projects they're indexing. So it's a great at a glance dashboard. Here is Validatrium, one of the leading indexes on the SubQuery Kepler network. This is their dashboard, but you can go look at for anyone else's dashboard. And it's a great way for indexers also to compare their own history and their own rewards. There is a bunch of stuff, basically a long list of other UX updates, including stuff to the delegation modals and other places. The main thing is just in Discord, go check out this Kepler service releases channel. We have a constant flow of information going in there in terms of all the little releases that we do, because every week we do updates to the UI, we do updates to the backend Docker images. We're constantly improving this here. So keep an eye on that and keep subscribed to that. We're probably going to take this model and also apply it to the SDK as well. But if you wanted to keep updated with the SDK improvements, the best place is to follow the releases page on my GitHub as well. In terms of things coming next for the Kepler network, so we're improving the My Profile page. So if you're a delegator or an indexer, there is a My Profile page already. It's a bit hard to get to. It's not great. We are improving that so we can better show you the rewards that you've received, the rewards that you're yet to claim, and how that has changed over time. you can at a glance information about all the main things. And that's in progress right now. It's looking very good, and we're just about to develop and release that soon. We're also releasing some key security improvements for indexes. We want to make sure that indexes are set up in a secure way, so we're providing some information around how to run it in a secure way, and support more secure versions of Linux to run your indexer services on. Stablecoin pricing means that you can also price your requests in stablecoins. So I know your infrastructure is mostly priced in USD. It means that you can also price your requests in USDC, for example, and Kepler will automatically manage the conversion rate to KSQT for you. And then finally, we're in final last-minute talks and testing phases with a few customers to bring their real-world projects onto Kepler, so that you'll be indexing real-world projects and customers will be accessing real-world data from Kepler into their front-end applications. So we're in that real deep process of migrating real customers from the hosted service onto our decentralized network. It's all on there. I also just want to share on the side, I couldn't get this to talk about today, but we have got a date for our public sale. Everyone will be very excited to hear that. It is before the end of the year. It's before Christmas, for example. It's actually sooner than you think. We will be releasing that to much fanfare. I know everyone's been asking about the public sale soon, but we have discussed that today as a team, and we have a date, and it is this year, and we're looking forward to sharing more information. But it means for us, it's all on. We're getting the public sale ready, with getting the sale pages, the sale platforms, getting Kepler ready to migrate to the SubQuery network, all of these places. But it's great news is that SubQuery will have a public sale in 2023. It will be on, and we're looking forward to launching the network not soon after. It's a public sale in probably the deepest of winters, but all great projects launch in winter, because from winter you can grow hugely when the next cycle comes around, when the next bull cycle comes through. And it means that there is a tremendous potential for people that participate in that sale. So thank you very much for joining today. That's our main update. Of course, every week we run at this time the office hours. So if you're a participant in Kepler or you want to participate, join those hours to hear about what's happening specifically in Kepler. We also have Ian, the CTO, joining, and he provides a lot more information about things that I don't quite understand sometimes. And it's always great to hear him in Discord. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat window. I appreciate the comments about my mustache. This is a early Movember, I guess. We're trying to maybe think it's a Motember, I guess. So we've been working on this for a few weeks. I just forgot to shave for a while and kind of decided to stick with it. It's growing on me, I guess you could say. Other things, the Kepler Network also supports Talisman Wallet to log in as well. It's another small release that we did as well. And I think that's mostly it. So thank you very much for joining, everyone. If there's any last minute questions, now's a good time to post them. But again, this is recorded. We're always in Discord, so if you have any questions there, feel free to drop them in the Discord general channel. I will be there for the rest of the day. And wherever you are around the world, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for listening. That's all on SubQuery. It's looking really good. We're adding networks at a very rapid clip. We are adding new features that customers are demanding every week. We are becoming one of the largest indexes out there across as many chains as you could imagine. So SubQuery is going to new heights. So thank you very much for joining, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Cheers, everyone.